All right, let me finish with a piece of cotton candy then.
Cotton candy is good.
Okay, here we go. I am looking in the index of your book, and I didn't see it either. There's no Dustin Hoffman in here.
No,
So,
none.
did you talk with him about his portrayal, or were you part of it in any way, shape, or form for the film?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
What was that like?
Let me tell you about it. The first thing is this book ends, and it's told in the voice, Chasing History, Kid in the Newsroom. It's told in the voice of the kid, not the old man looking back.
Love it.
But when Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford came to play Woodward and me, they lived with us for like 6 months. I mean, they didn't come back to our houses at night, but every day they spent with us practically. Dustin, he came to the Passover Seder at home. We would walk around the city together. We really got to know each other well. And Redford and Hoffman would ask us question after question after question. How did you do this? What would your exact words be to each other? And the great director of the movie, Alan Pakula, followed what we had said. The only reason we were willing to sell the rights to the Book of All the President's Men is if indeed a movie director and a producer was willing to stick to the absolute truth of what that book was and not fictionalize it. And that's indeed what Alan Pakula, the great director, did. That's what Redford did. That's what Hoffman did. And one of the extraordinary things about All the President's Men, and again, there's a straight line from this Chasing History book to All the President's Men and the Watergate coverage, is that the movie and the book, the movie especially of All the President's Men, it's not about Woodward and me and our personal lives. There's no love story in it. You don't see any girlfriends. It's about the process of reporting and what a news organization does. And it's, again, one of the things today in our journalism, there's an awful lot, too much going to Google, not getting out of the newsroom and thinking, oh, I can go to Google and learn all about what's online and learn people's biographies and everything about it, if Google and Wikipedia are right, and they're not always right. But Google and the Internet are fabulous reporting tools, but they're no substitute for what you see in that movie of All the President's Men or what you read in Chasing History. It's all about going out and meeting people and respecting the people you're covering, even if they're lying to you. Usually people tell you what is their truth. It might not be the truth, but it's your responsibility to then go to other sources and find out, is what they think is their truth really the truth? And there's shades of gray all through this. That's what All the President's Men, the movie, is about. That's what Chasing History, the book, is. So it's really almost a prequel to All the President's Men, because you see this 16-year-old kid, this 17-year-old, 18, 19, learning and getting these opportunities that you could not even imagine today. One of the first week that I was at the paper, it's right before John Kennedy was elected, running against Richard Nixon, I was asked by the head copy boy asked. I was told, go to Burning Tree Country Club. We've got a photographer out there taking pictures of President Eisenhower on the golf course. And I want you to bring back to the office his rolls of film. So I went out to Burning Tree Country Club, and I had a little identification card from the Washington Star, and I showed it to the chief caddy, and he took me right to this putting green. And 12 feet away from me, with just one Secret Service man nearby, was the President of the United States, Dwight Eisenhower, sinking putts. And I was mesmerized. I looked at his hands, and I could see that, he had brown spots on his hands. And I made a little note in my notebook, and the photographer took the film out of his camera and gave it to me, and I left. And it was the first time I had ever seen a President of the United States. But imagine that at age 16. And a few weeks later, a week before the election, Jack Kennedy came to my high school in Silver Spring, Maryland. And the state editor said to me, well, Bernstein, we've got our top political reporter covering this event because the election's going to be very close between Kennedy and Nixon, and Maryland could even decide the election. So our top political reporter is going to come to your high school, but why don't you go stay on the grounds and, again, cover the crowd? And you know the grounds there, and you know the community. And 12,000 people showed up for this rally. And so even in the first few weeks of my apprenticeship at the Washington Star, and you can imagine some of my classmates looking bug-eyed at me as I'm sitting there with a reporter's notebook and running behind the candidate for president of the United States. I mean, what a thing to be able to do. And looking back at it, it's this amazing life that that I've been lucky enough to have. But still, this occurring at that age is I'm kind of agape myself at the opportunity and what happened in those years from age 16 to 21.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.